last night was Thursday Night Football. The Titans and the Jaguars played, and the star of the night was my man, Gardner Minshew. I love this cat. He's a rookie quarterback. I watched him play. I was on the sidelines watching him play his senior year last year at Washington State. What a joy. He's my favorite quarterback in the NFL. I love him so much. Him and Tom Brady are like, how do you not love Tom Brady? You love him or you hate him? I love Tom Brady. But Gardner Minshew, man, is just the coolest story in the world. So last night he was 20 for 30 passing, 2-0 for 30 passing, had 204 yards, 2 touchdowns. He led the Jaguars to a 20-7 win over the Titans. And my gosh, it was so awesome to watch. I love it. And one of the reasons why I love Gardner Minshew is his journey speaks to me. I've transferred schools a lot. I've been to a lot of colleges. And Gardner Minshew went to 4 different colleges to play football throughout his college football career. And over again, coaches did not believe in him. He had to transfer multiple times to find a school that wanted him. And all that time, when he was transferring and moving around, the one thing that did not seem to waver is his family believed in him and loved him and just gave him support that he needed. And if that doesn't speak to you, sorry I'm hitting the table, people hate that. If that doesn't speak to you, I don't know what will. Because that, to me, like I watched the postgame interview on NFL Network with Gardner Minshew. He's in the booth, he's in full uniform basically still, and his family's there with him. And it's like, it's so cool to see that. A guy who has overcome so much, whose family loves him and supports him. And it's crazy to think that right now, Gardner Minshew, the starting quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars, in a parallel universe, is instead coaching right now at Alabama. So if you don't know the story, leading into his senior year, he decided to transfer to Washington State University. And he almost went to Alabama instead of Washington State. And if he'd gone to Alabama, he would have been the 3rd-string quarterback. He was willing to accept that role behind Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts because he planned to eventually become a graduate assistant at Alabama. He basically was saying, look, I'm going to submit that my football career has not worked out. I'm going to be a coach someday. Why not go learn from the very best coach in the nation, Nick Saban? And then he got a phone call from Mike Leach in Washington State. And he went to Washington State and he played there and was fantastic. And I love his attitude. His kind of his philosophy in life seems to be, life is an adventure, and I'm going to make the very most of everything I possibly can. And so instead of, if he was in an alternate universe, Gardner Minshew right now, the guy who's the starting quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars in an alternate universe right now would be doing some menial task like editing film or prep, who knows, whatever graduate assistants do at Alabama, he'd be doing that right now, coaching football rather than playing football. And instead, he's now, again, the Jacksonville Jaguars starting quarterback. That's awesome. It's really, really cool. I did a film analysis of him a while ago. Look, his mechanics have significantly improved. His arm strength is better. He's using his legs better to drive the ball downfield. He threw a fade ball last night. It was in a perfect spot. And, the way he's fought for his journey, the way he's improved on the field is something I respect as a guy who's played football a lot, played quarterback in the past. The way he self-evaluated and made himself better at his flaws is so cool. And then his story is amazing. It's a guy who's easy to root for, who's easy to love. How do you not love Gardner Minshew? It's so cool to me, man. His velocity's up. He's playing great. And I talked about him during my last podcast, and I have not been a big believer in the Jacksonville Jaguars to this point in the year. Well, last night he played great. And his team rallied around him and they won. And I said on, Wednesday, I said that it's possible Gardner Minshew plays great all year and his team still doesn't win a lot of games. Looks like so far we have an example where I was wrong, where Gardner Minshew played great, his team rallied, they won a game. That's awesome. And in his post-game interview, he talked about how adversity can bring a team together. That's a great mindset. And I love that. So I want to offer an alternate possibility. Last night we saw an example of it. The proof was in the pudding. It's possible Gardner Minshew plays great this year and rallies the Jacksonville Jaguars. And how cool would that be for a franchise that has suffered for years without a franchise quarterback? Blake Bortles was a guy you wanted to like him. Like the Jaguars fans were pleading, trying to rally around this quarterback who simply wasn't any good. Blake Bortles, Gardner Minshew is already better than Blake Bortles ever was in a Jaguars uniform. That's sad, but that's true. That's honest. And so I feel the plight of the Jaguars fans that are like, we haven't had a quarterback in so long. We've wanted one. They finally have one they can rally behind. And that is so cool. I love that. So time will tell. I hope it happens that Gardner Minshew becomes the next NFL star. He doesn't have the strongest arm, but he's good enough. He does all the little things right. He's great at reading defenses. His arm strength is much improved from college. He's using his legs to drive the ball downfield. He's doing so many little things right, and he's got a great attitude that I even said in my film analysis of him, he makes any locker room better because of his attitude. And so as a guy who's been a fan of him for so long, it's awesome to watch. But even for Jaguars fans who are just getting to know Gardner Minshew, I'm so happy for them because they have a guy they can rally behind that I think is worthy of their time. And that's cool. I don't think they've had that in a long time. Because you can rally behind Blake Bortles for a little bit, but he was never going to be what you needed him to be. And Gardner Minshew has the ability to be a franchise quarterback and someone worth supporting. And to me, that is so special and so cool. I love watching it. I hope, last year we saw Ryan Fitzpatrick have a couple games where he was really good and they called it Fitzmagic and it was fun. And then it flamed out and fell off a cliff and it wasn't the same. I really hope that doesn't happen with Gardner Minshew. It could. I don't know that it will because he's so consistent. He's not just throwing for gaudy numbers. He's consistently making good decisions with the football. And I think the way he's playing is actually sustainable. But I'm curious if it continues. I hope it does. We'll find out. But my goodness gracious, I just really, really enjoy watching Gardner Minshew play football for the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's so fun to me. It's a guy I love and have rooted for so long. And of course, I get so many messages about it. I get tagged in pictures and all kinds of stuff. My fans know I like him. It just makes me so happy. It does. It's such a cool story. And it brings me so much genuine joy to watch Gardner Minshew play and play well. My name is Zach Schaumler. This is my podcast, Strong Opinion Sports. It is my favorite thing in the entire world. And you may not know, my dream when I graduate college eventually is to do this show as my full-time job. Now, I also want to be very upfront and honest about my plan and what's going on. I recently monetized my YouTube channel. What that means is that some of my videos make money through ad revenue. Now, it's fewer than you think. A lot of my videos get claimed. But in the past, I've received donations through the form of PayPal and Patreon.com. PayPal.me/Zach Schaumler, Patreon.com/Zach Schaumler. So because I'm making ad revenue, it felt weird to just get donations. I wanted to give something back to the people who support me on Patreon. So now there's a reward. If you support me on Patreon, you can submit questions at the dollar level or above. You just need to give $1 a month. If you do that, you can submit questions to a pool of questions where I look at. I read all the questions on Patreon, and I pick the top couple every episode and read them and answer them on a segment called Ask Zach. Pick the top couple questions and answer them at the end of every single episode. Now, that's for people who want to support me with money. If you have no money to give, I totally understand. I've actually never supported anybody on Patreon. I feel kind of weird about that. I'm a broke college kid myself. I totally understand. But if you believe in me and if you believe in my dream and still want to help me, one thing you can do is help me grow by telling your friends about Strong Opinion Sports. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. Help me grow by telling your friends about Strong Opinion Sports. Guys, thank you so much. I know that was a long spiel. I really appreciate it. And hope you have a great day.